They're going to put a woman's face on the $20 bill. They haven't decided who yet, but it's going to be a woman's face. And great news for women. Bad news for the $20 bill. Now it's only going to be worth $16. And that's, I know, should have worked harder. And
it's such a crazy time to like be a parent because we're doing things so different, right? Like now you can choose your parenting style like you used to choose a Mortal Kombat fighter. Our parents only had one style. It was survival. That was it. They just had to make it through. But we chose conscious parenting, me and my husband, conscious parenting, which is annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's annoying because it's not permissive. It's literally realizing every way in which you affect a tiny human life. And you have to be so aware of everything, and it's so hard because you want to fight them. You know you shouldn't. You know it's not their fault. But you find yourself getting frustrated at the craziest things. Because I would just be like, why can't you use a spoon? Give my son a spoon. He's like, no, you crackhead. It's just yogurt everywhere now.
My head is big. Here's how big my head is. If I like to wear a hat. I like to wear a baseball hat. There's only one brand of hat that fits my head. It's a New Era 5950 snapback hat. Y'all know a snapback hat? Snaps in the back. On a good head day, I could maybe get one button to snap, and it doesn't want a button, dude. It's like, I'll click on there, but I'm not gonna be good, and it hurts, and I gotta take it off when I eat. Because if I get chewing too hard, you ever see a big dude walking around, his hat's just blown out in the back? Let that guy live his life, dude. He feels the wind blowing on his neck. He knows what's happening.
You'd think by now they would have a cure for being bald. Best option out there right now, you could take a pill, but a side effect of the pill is it could cause you to not be able to get an erection. And I don't want to risk that in case my wife and I ever, get a divorce. They tested that pill on animals first. That's pretty messed up. I just imagine there's some bald, limp-dick monkey walking around the jungle all depressed. Like, fuck. My dick doesn't work.
Last time I was here, I was doing a show in Minneapolis. A dude after the show came up and he offered to split a Viagra with me. I want to make this very clear. At no point during the show did I imply I needed a Viagra. You know how kind you have to be to walk up to a stranger and be like, you want to go halves on a boner? I'm not going to use the whole thing. I figure you can get in on it. Like, I didn't know if he was like hitting on me or if he just had like a soldier's mind frame, like no man gets left behind. He doesn't get hard, I don't get hard. Weirdly, the kindest thing I've ever experienced. Minnesota's like the only place, like I could go anywhere else in the country and anybody might be like, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? But Minnesota's the only place I've been to where somebody was like, hey, how's your dick doing? Doing all right? Okay, hey, keep me in the loop, I got your back.
And then you lay back and they do the procedure and an IUD can stay in you for 8 years. So after they're done, the nurse hands you a sticker with a date on it of 8 years from that day, so you know when to replace it. So I just pop that on my windshield next to my oil change sticker. Where else am I gonna put that thing? I got one that says Valvoline, one that says Volvoline. I just look at just keep an eye.
I try to make myself feel better by telling myself it's not a Southern accent thing, it's an American accent thing. Like the idea that any thick regional American accent can sound kind of dumb, not just this one, Like if you go to the doctor to get some test results back, yeah, you don't want this accent from the doctor. I know, you don't, right? You don't. but you also don't want some meatball from the Bronx. You know, like, listen, it is what it is. You got stage 4 cancer. What are you going to do? No. What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to take your fucking chemo. You're going to take your radiation. You're going to kick cancer's ass. Actually, I do want a Bronx doctor. I take that back. That sounds pretty inspiring, actually.
I don't love everything that the Democrats do. I don't. I have notes. I went to the Cheesecake Factory recently. And I sat down for a meal at the Cheesecake Factory. I don't go often, and when I go, I like to enjoy myself. And I opened the menu, and there were calorie counts on the menu at the Cheesecake Factory. And that's a bigger jump scare than anything I've ever seen in any movie. And I know the Republicans didn't do that. That was us. And I guess the idea there is that they're trying to warn us that perhaps the meals at the Cheesecake Factory are not the healthiest meals available. And I think we all realized that when we agreed to eat at a restaurant called the Cheesecake Factory. Factory is the healthiest word in the name of that restaurant.
Even when I'm not high, just normally, I am in my head constantly digging up things to stress out about. Yeah, oh my God, my album sucks. I haven't even released it yet. Jesus Christ, is COVID my fault? I did go to China that one time, and I did eat bat. Did I bring it back? Is this all my fault? Did I vote for Kanye? I can't remember. I was drunk when I voted. Probably shouldn't vote drunk. Did I sell my soul to the Disney Corporation? I can't prove I didn't. I can't prove I'm not owned by the Disney Corporation. My soul is just a corporate whore. I'm just
It's tough because when you have teenagers, you know that they get to a certain age and they start to think that they're cool and that you're not, which is a phenomenon because you raised them. You've known them their whole lives and you know they're not cool at all. And you know that you are, and yet you gotta listen to them like, oh, Dad, you're so out of it. Dad, you don't get it. Dad, you don't know how to download. It's like, hey, you don't know me, motherfucker. You don't know who I was. I used to be very cool. You know when I stopped being cool? When you two assholes were born. Before that, very cool. Way cooler than you will ever be. You know why you won't be as cool as I was? Because you're not being raised by an abusive, alcoholic parent. That's why. And that can change. You're not cool. What are you, 14? When I was 14, I was high at dinner. Every night. Look at you. You're not even high. I was baked out of my mind, laughing. Look at you all clear-eyed, normal. I used to get in a fist fight every day after school. You wear a helmet to ride a bicycle. Pussy. When I was a kid, only the really good athletes got trophies. Now they're handing them out to the white kids, too. You don't know. You want to tell them all the crazy shit you've done, but you can't. You got to protect your image. You want to sit them down and go, guess what your dad did in college? He had a 3-way. That's right, with 2 other guys. Or whatever. This chick was supposed to show up. She was running late. We figured, let's just get it started. Give her some time. Anyway, she never showed up. Or she might have. Somebody's ringing the buzzer, but we were so far into it at that point, nobody was getting out of that bed. It was Dick City, and I was the mayor. And I'll tell you something. Good guys. Good guys. I think the thing that really bothers me the most is they think that my wife is cool, and I'm not. It's like, really? Mommy's cool? She is. Guess who's fucking her? She doesn't look so cool with my dick in her mouth, I'll tell you that much. Mommy looks silly sometimes. Sex with my wife is pretty wild, by the way. because she's 57. I can't believe I'm having sex with a 57-year-old woman. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm 57 too. But I'm still fucking a 57-year-old woman. If you told me when I was 18 years old that I'd be banging a 57-year-old, I would put a gun in my mouth at that moment. And yet I love her. I think she's beautiful and sexy, and we have great sex, but it's existential. It's weird. I love my wife. I remember years ago driving home one day, and I texted her. I said, what time are you gonna be home? And she said, 6 o'clock. And then she said, will you pick up some eggs? And I wrote, sure. And then I wrote, what are you wearing? And I got a text back, my cleats and my soccer uniform. And I realized my wife is driving, son is in the passenger seat with the phone. And then I got a text back, why? What are you wearing? And I threw my phone out the window. I burned it.
Glad to be here in Dallas. I'm glad to be at a comedy club. We're not always. Sometimes we do weird things. Like earlier this year, I did stand up at a lawyers conference in Miami. And I don't know why either. I guess they were like, this guy's got felons in his family. He knows lawyer stuff probably. So I did this lawyers conference. It was fine because honestly, there was a point in time in my life where I thought I might want to be a lawyer when I grew up because I had somehow got it in my head that lawyer is one of the only white collar jobs you can have when you talk like a racist banjo, right? Well, I do think I don't know if it's because of Atticus Finch or Matlock or what it is, but for some reason, people are okay with Southern lawyers. You know what I mean? It's all right to be a Southern lawyer. And I could see myself doing that as a kid. Like, I could see myself walking into court in a seersucker suit, just dabbing the prodigious whiskey sweat from my brow, like, from my grandpappy's handkerchief, you know, setting it down, hitting them with some old-timey nonsense. Like, Your Honor, if you think my client's going to spend one more night in the hoose gal, you crazy as a gravy-covered cat in a barnyard full of bloodhounds, you is. The jury's just like, this guy's too dumb to be duplicitous. I inherently trust this man. Not guilty, right? I could see that, but no, as it turns out, I'm not but a simple giggle monger as things happen. But yeah, I was in Miami in February, and right before that, I did stand up in Phoenix in January. And those two experiences combined led me to developing this new sociological theory I've been working on this year. And my theory is this: I think that the hot sun makes white people go insane. That's what I think. That's what I think happens. Because you think about all the parts of this country where the white people are the craziest, it's where the sun is the hottest, you know? It's like out west, it's Arizona, east of the Mississippi, it's the entire American South, you know? And even within the South, the maxim holds true. The further south you go, the hotter the sun is, the crazier the crackers are, right? Like you start out in Kentucky, Virginia, it's not so bad. You get to Alabama, it's like, ugh, and then you wind up in Florida and they're throwing alligators through drive-through windows and shit. These motherfuckers are crazy. You ain't supposed to be like that. I think it's the hot sun. I do think the hot part is important. I say that because I live in Southern California and like there's plenty of sun out there, but it's not hot for most of the year. For most of the year, it's like sunny and 72. And like the white people in LA, they're delusional, but they're not scary though, right? Like it's a different type of crazy. You know what I mean? But you leave LA, you start driving out east into the desert, they start to turn, man. They do. Like next thing you know, you're driving by Uncle Shooty's biker shop and Nazi stuff emporium. It's like, oh, this ain't good. Worrisome. I don't even think it has to be prolonged exposure to the hot sun. I think if the sun is hot enough, the effect can be acute in nature. Like, I think white people in the hot sun are like werewolves in the moonlight. Like, it just brings the monster out of us, you know? Like that you could take the most white bread, milquetoast data analyst from Kalamazoo, you send him to Las Vegas for a weekend conference. By Sunday, he's standing out in the middle of the strip with his dick out like, fuck you, Frank. I bet the house at the roulette table and I don't give a fuck. It fucks us up, man. That's why I'm so worried about this recent trend of like white dude bros sunning their taints and stuff. Like I said, That's a real thing. Fox News talked about Tucker Carlson, did a whole segment on it. It's a real thing. It's a real thing they're doing. They're like purposefully exposing their buttholes and their genitals and their taints and stuff to concentrated UV lights for like power-up purposes or something. And nothing good's gonna come out of that, man. Nothing. I'll tell you, take a heavily bearded alpha male going through a divorce, he starts sunning his taint, next thing you know, Proud Boys. That's what happens. That's how the Proud Boys started. It's a problem. I don't think it's just an American problem, though. I think this is a global phenomenon. Like, for example, if you think about like England, right? Like in England, the sun is a myth, right? It's very gray, rainy. And you could say English white people, they've been evil and colonially over the years, but they're not crazy, though. No, they're not. They're very prim, proper, buttoned up. Yes, quite. That's how they are. But you take England, leave it in the hot sun for a couple hundred years, bam, Australia. That's what you get. Australia, a.k.a. the Florida of Oceania. I love Australians. They're a lot of fun, but they're down there fist fighting kangaroos and using the word cunt like a punctuation mark. This shit ain't normal. You ain't supposed to be like that. I think it's the hot. And there's one thing you can bring up to give me some issues with this. You could be like, well, Trae, what about like Russia, right? Russia, they got all them white people, no hot sun, crazy as a shithouse rat. How do you explain that, right? There's a couple ways of looking at that. You could look at that as like, yeah, my theory's dead in the water before we even get started. Or you could look at that as like, what if that's just their baseline, you know? It's like, what if that's just their starting point? Like, imagine what might happen if we expose Russia to the hot sun for a while. Like, that's the real danger of climate change right there. We don't all start recycling more. It's going to be Mad Max and Adidas tracksuits in no time.
I'm trying to fix the house. I can't do anything around the house. I can't do it. I don't even know the words to talk to a guy who can fix the house. I had a plumbing issue in my basement. My wall was bleeding. That's how I said it. I couldn't think of the word leak. I was in my basement for an hour going, it's bleeding hard out here. We need a tourniquet. I don't know any words, so I call the plumber. He goes, I'll be out there in a jiff. Now, I'm not trashing plumbers, but y'all know what a jiff means. 19 hours. Which is fine. A lot of stuff to plumb. I'm not mad at him, right? But by the time this guy gets to my house, it had been so long, the leak had stopped. I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything. It just, scabbed up. It's just fine. And I've been mopping up the floor, so it kind of looks fine in the basement. So now I'm trying to convince this dude I didn't make the whole thing up. He walks down to my basement. He goes, oh, you see what you're talking about. I go, all right, cool. Yeah. You mind poking around a little bit first before you just write it off, And then he starts knocking on the wall, starts scratching it. He goes, it's solid. I go, cool. Did you think I just wanted to hang out with you in my house today? I didn't make this up, right? Now we're just two men looking at each other in my basement. It's kind of an awkward impasse between two adult men that, I'll be honest, look a lot alike. Finally, he broke. He goes, I hear you, dude. All right, I hear you. Why don't I do this? I got a saw in my truck. I'll come down here. I'll cut a little hole in this drywall, and I'll... And I need y'all to know before I finish the story, deep down, I know that drywall is a type of wall. I don't know if I could pick it out of a lineup of walls, but I've heard people talk about drywall before. Deep down, I know drywall exists. I wasn't reaching too deep in the moment, though. I heard drywall. I thought this guy was mocking me. To my face. I thought he was like, you thought you had a leak? Why don't we look at this drywall? I was like, it was wet this morning, dude. About a jiff ago, it was a nightmare down here, so... He cut a giant hole, and then he just left. I go, you mind unholing the wall? This was your idea, dude. Patch it up. He goes, you can probably patch that up. I was like, I'm gonna have to get a new house. I don't even know what you're talking about. Patch it up with what? I got walls laying around. What are you talking about? I don't even know conceptually what you're asking me. I go get a wall? Cool. Home Depot, one wall, please. Again, some good tape.
When he and I got together, we had that conversation about labels because I felt ready to be called boyfriend and girlfriend. And he goes, you know, being in my 40s, I feel like I'm a little old to be called somebody's boyfriend. But if you call me your man friend, it sounds like I'm not allowed in your playgrounds. I was like, all right, well, what are you going to call me? And he goes, I'll just be like, this is my lady. And I was like, well, we're not at a Renaissance fair. So, no. Also, I can't use the equivalent of that. I can't be like, Mom, Dad, I'd like you to meet my lord. And he's also a comedian. My ex-husband was actually a comedian, too. I can't stop shitting where I eat. No, I didn't tell you. My love life is a Chipotle. Just keep the eating and shitting all under one roof. It's very convenient, very farm to table, you know. They're right there. And I wasn't much of a jealous girlfriend in my 20s, but then some switch flipped in my 30s. And now when I see somebody hit on the person I'm with, I just feel myself anamorph into the cast of Jersey Shore. I am ready to brawl. And he does get hit on. When he walks on stage, women whistle at him. And at comedy clubs, there's usually a security guard in the back to kick people out in case they heckle. So at his shows, I've just started to stand next to the security guard. And if I see a woman laughing too hard at one of his jokes, I just walk up and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. He's my favorite comedian. Well, he's my lord. Scoot, beat it. I feel like most people assume I'm exaggerating during that joke, but if you follow me online, you'll know I posted a video a few months ago of a woman who sat in the front row of one of my shows, and after I told that joke, she goes, your boyfriend is my favorite comedian. We've seen him like 8 times. And I was like, lady, did you not just hear that this is when I go snooky on somebody? What are you doing? And she doubled down. She's like, he's so cute. He's so hot. And he responds to my Instagram comments. And that's when I took out my hoop earrings. All the men in the crowd were looking around like, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. It's like, yeah, time to fuck around and find out, madam. Get up here. I don't actually worry about my boyfriend cheating on me. I feel like men's bodies start to really turn on them in their 40s. He has to wake up every 2 hours in the night to pee. And when I see him in the morning with bags under his eyes, I hug him and I go, babe, I'm sorry you didn't sleep well. And then I think, you're too exhausted to cheat on me. You're not getting enough REM to pull off 2 relationships. I like you slow like this. Can catch you if I need to. Get back here. But now the second I see him start to reach for melatonin, I'm like, the fuck are you resting up for? Huh? You stay sleepy. I don't usually mind our age gap, but there is that new filter on TikTok where couples are posting pictures together, and then a filter goes across the screen, and it shows you what you'll look like together in 50 years. Like it ages you. So I did that with a picture of me and my boyfriend, and when the filter went across the screen, it just made him disappear. It was just me holding an urn. I was like, what? My boyfriend was like, I want to see the picture. I was like, oh, my phone died. And so did you. What am I going to do? He does hate that he looks older than me. He's been trying to get me to look older faster. I think he wants to like microwave my face. On my birthday, as a prank, he hid all of my expensive skin creams, and when I opened my bathroom cupboard, there was just a pack of cigarettes. Like a tanning bed coupon. Well, be careful what you wish for. You're gonna wake up next to Mick Jagger. I have been telling my single friends that they should date somebody older than them. It's the best. They got their lives together, they're financially secure. My boyfriend has a lake cabin. You think I give a shit that he has a fake hip? I don't. I don't need somebody to be able to jump rope to get me wet. I'm riding on a jet ski. I'm coming 5 times on that thing anyway. My boyfriend shows me his credit score while we're on the jet ski. I'm like, oh my God. Our neighbors are like, wow, look at all the water coming off that thing. I'm like, that's not water, Diane. That's all me, baby. Happy 4th. Peace be with you.
It's dangerous having no kids at this age. Because when you're a middle-aged white male, you start developing hobbies. And we traditionally have not had the best hobbies. I have too much free time, and I've found myself getting into conspiracy theories. I think my generation is especially prone to conspiracy theories, by the way. I think we are, because I have a theory that when people my age... when people my age were kids, people told us that there were boners in Disney movies. And then we got older, and it turned out that there were boners in Disney movies. So what else aren't they telling us? You know what I mean? But I did. I knew myself too well. I enjoyed the Da Vinci Code too much to be 100% sure that I wouldn't eventually get into QAnon, right? Like, so I've had to pick up hobbies. I've had to pick up hobbies so I don't get into like conspiracy theories. I swear this is true. I got into smoking meat. So I would have something to do. I did. I got like a big green egg in my backyard and I smoked meat on it. And QAnon and smoking meat are actually pretty similar pursuits. Whichever one you get into, you end up watching a lot of 90-minute YouTube videos. Where it's just like a fat, sweaty guy in Mississippi talking right into the camera. Here's what they're not telling you about natural gas, brother. But I did. I got into smoking meat so I wouldn't get into conspiracy theories. You might say, instead of QAnon, I actually can't tell this joke. I'm sorry, I can't do it. No, I'm sorry, I can't do it, I know. No, this is the special. You all came here tonight. I appreciate you so much for supporting me, but in good conscience, I can't tell this joke because if we're being 100% honest with each other, last time I did, somebody died because it's... No, it's because it's too funny. It's too funny of a joke. I appreciate you volunteering. But even still, it's random. It's random. But I can't do it. I just can't do it. All right, I feel like, so we'll just move on. Is that right, I'm gonna tell it, but like all right. Okay. Just set the scene again. About 25 minutes of the most blistering stand-up comedy you've ever heard, and then. Okay, in the context for this, I got into smoking meats, and I wouldn't get into conspiracy theories. Right, da 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 da. You might say, instead of QAnon, I just can't. I'm sorry. Because for you, this is all fun and games, right? But I was on stage. I saw it happen. I saw someone was sitting right there, and they laughed so hard that their skeleton flew out of their body. And the skeleton sat down next to them, and the skeleton was laughing. So the skin was laughing, and then the skeleton was laughing, and the skeleton was laughing so hard that the ghost flew out of the skeleton. And then all three of them were laughing together, right? All three, and then the skeleton and the ghost, they looked at each other, and then the skin and the skeleton looked at each other, and then all three of them looked at each other, and they were like, whoa, and then they all three collapsed. And now I am locked in litigation, all right? Heavy litigation. And I have not worked in show business in over a year. All right, I'll tell it. Okay. Instead of again, just set the context. I got into smoking meat so I wouldn't get into conspiracy theories. All right, here we go. Instead of QAnon, I got into barbecueanon. Hard to come back from that one. That's probably gonna have to tear the theater down after that. It is, though. It is hard to tell another joke after that.
I think in everybody's relationship there was tension during the pandemic. Like if you fought with your partner during the pandemic, like it's not about how much you love them. That's too many hours with one person. Because we all have flaws. None of us are perfect. We shouldn't look for perfection in our partners. I think we should understand that everybody has flaws. It's not about your partner being perfect, but it's about how you handle those imperfections you have in each other, along with each other. And I think that was the biggest issue. Nobody was prepared to be around their partner 24/7, uninterrupted. Look, my husband's biggest thing is he's a talker, which is never said as a compliment. That is a warning every time. Like, hey, he's a talker. Go with God. And people underestimate it all the time because they don't understand he's the type of talker that doesn't need anyone else for the conversation. Do you know these people? You know how many times I've been at home like, did I leave a podcast on? Like, who's bringing up random topics? And then during the pandemic, he started doing this new thing that he'd never done before where he just announced things he was doing around the house. I'd be in the living room and I'd hear, babe, I made space for the ketchup in the refrigerator. And I'd be like, good job, man. Because my therapist said be more encouraging, you know what I mean? So I was like, who's killing it in the kitchen? I didn't grow up with positive reinforcement, so I don't know how to be encouraging without sounding like I'm talking to a pet, like, who's a good husband? Who's a good husband? Off the couch, who's a good husband? Of course we fought, of course we bumped heads, of course we got on each other's nerves. Like I'm definitely the kind of person, like he has to put up with my flaws too. And I'm definitely the kind of person that, I think the hardest thing he has to put up with is the fact that my mood depends on your tone. don't have to tell me. I know it's toxic. I'm aware. I'm working on it. It's not fun, you know what I mean? To be the kind of person that's always like, what'd you say? And at this point, we've established that when a woman says, what'd you say? She's not asking you to repeat what you said. She is asking you to rethink what you said. It's not fun to have somebody walking on eggshells like that, you know what I mean? Like, what'd you say? Good morning? Please say I did it right. We were bound to bump heads, man, but we're also both in therapy. And I don't know if you've ever fought with a healthy person, but it's annoying. Because we'd get into these big blow-up fights, right? Where we would just yell at each other, and then I'd storm out, right? And I'd have time to process. And I'd come back in and I'd be like, ugh. I realize my reaction to the previous situation is based on trauma from a former relationship that I shouldn't bring into this current space. Don't get too excited, baby girl. And then my husband would come in and he'd be like, ugh. I want you to know that I hear you and I see you. I was like, I hate us. I don't want to be us, I want to jump us. I don't like us. I come from a family where you flip a table to make a point, you know what I'm saying? Like, this feels too healthy, you know what I'm saying? And I got a temper on me. I'm not proud of it, but it's something I know about myself. Right? Like, I got one of those tempers where I'll get real mad, real bad, real fast. Yeah. And then 5 seconds later, I'm like, we're cool. They'll be like, Gina, you burned down the house. Okay, but I'm a new woman now. Yes, I burned down the house, but I also called the fire department. And in therapy, they call that growth. So, how about you respect my journey? It ain't easy. I remember our biggest fight was also, coincidentally, our dumbest fight. Yeah. It was over socks. Yeah, we had the sock fight. Mm-hmm. He kept leaving his socks everywhere. And in my head, I was like, I know that you know that we have a laundry basket. What is with all this passive-aggressive sock behavior? I'm in therapy, so I could therapize. And therapy did help me figure out how I could have stopped this fight from happening in the first place. Because I did something so typical in relationships, such a typical thing, because what I did was I didn't speak up right away. I let it build, I let it fester. Such a common thing. And I'll tell you why that happens. I can only speak to my relationships with men, but I'll tell you why that happens, guys. The reason why we don't speak up right away is because we have such faith. You already know. We have such faith in your ability to tell when we are upset. We truly believe you're gonna get all of our little subtle hints. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. Every woman in here can tell you when her partner is upset. Every woman in here. We always know. We always know, man. I know. I can tell by the way he breathes. So we always think he's gonna know. He's gonna know. Nope. Nope. And here's the thing. There's a reason why this happens. There's a reason why this happens, and it's not based on intelligence. It's about how we think and navigate through the world. The fact is, as a woman, I have to think 10 steps ahead for my own safety. I can't just walk out the door. I have to figure out where am I going, what time is it, how am I getting back, who am I going with, is it even safe for me to go there in the first place? These are the things we have to think about when we're navigating the world. Men don't have to think that far ahead. You don't have to think in the future. You can think in the now, what's happening now, what's in front of me now. If at any point I'm mad at my husband, yeah. If at any point I am angry at my husband and I were to go into his brain, I feel like it would just be like, do-do-dee-dee-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. This is a great day, man. Da-da-da-da-da. She looks weird. Da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. I wonder who made her mad, man. I wasn't even here. Yada-da-da, yada-da-da. No clue. He had no idea we were even in a fight. Have you ever had somebody sleep comfortably next to you? When you are fuming mad at them? Whew. That's a tough one. Because he was like, And I was just up like, I've made you too comfortable. I let it fester, I let it build, and then one day I woke up and I was like, today's the day. You know when you feel the rage rising in your body before your feet touch the floor? I was like, somebody gonna get this rage. And I remember, I woke up, I was putting my son in his playpen. It was like 6 a.m. And I saw the Nike check from the corner of my eye. And if you've ever dealt with any kind of anger issues, then you know that at this point, I had to give myself a little pep talk. I was like, don't do nothing crazy. Don't do nothing crazy. I had to become my own therapist, man. I was like, come on, you're journaling. You're meditating. You watch that one Brene Brown video. You can do this. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna take that sock and I'm gonna cut it up into tiny little pieces. And I'm gonna do that for every sock I find until he has no socks. And then one day he will wake up and he will go, where are my socks? And I will press a button and all of the sockfetti will fall from the ceiling. And I will go, ta-da! And then I will stab him because I will have snapped. All you hear in the background is my son going, wipe your fingerprints off the knife, Mommy!
I am a proud black man. I want to make that very clear. I am unwavering in that. But at the same time, let's keep it real. I hear how I talk. I went to mixed schools. I use words like unwavering. I'm just keeping it real. I think my perspective as a black person in this country is a really interesting one to consider. It's not the only one, but it's one worth considering. Because I grew up in the intersection between cultures my entire life. I grew up in mixed neighborhoods. I went to mixed schools. I played for mixed sports teams. I work in an industry where I work with people of every race. As far as I'm concerned, based on my experiences, I think we're all better together than we are apart. That's how I personally feel. Right? I really do mean that. I think it's important to say that at a time like this. I think every race of people is better together than they are apart. And if you don't believe me, look at the results of every single Olympics. Why do you think the U.S. wins more medals than any other country? We're using other people's people. We're cheating. No one holds us accountable. Name one other country of one race of people that can go gold in skiing and basketball. Nobody, it's just us. Don't let the racist people fool you. I'm telling you, the biggest advantage we have in this country is that we have each other. That is real. Every time you take time to love somebody who doesn't look like you, the other countries are going, fuck, they're figuring it out. That's why I love the diversity in this country. It's my favorite thing. Every time the Olympics come up, we're like a dude who's got the right Pokemon for every situation. That's how I see it, man. And we're cocky as hell about it, too. We'll talk trash to anybody. What you want to do? What you trying to do? Women's 100-meter dash? Black girl, I choose you. Sha'Carri Richardson just pops out that thing running like an anime character, just. What you trying to do? What you want to do? Men's freestyle swimming? Say hello to my little white boy. Right? Michael Phelps just pops out that thing, just. If you know, you know. What you trying to do? What you want to do? Rowing? You think we ain't got Cubans? Yo, Florida. How do you think they got here? You mark my words, I'm calling it right now. In 4 years, we're gonna have Mexicans competing in the high jump. They're gonna be so good too. Oh my God, as much as we've been training them, oh, they're gonna be unstoppable. As soon as they figure out how to stop tunneling under it, oh my God, they're gonna be so good. And every one of y'all that's been calling them illegals, as soon as they come home with a gold medal, you're gonna be like, my brother, we did it. Listen, I do think I'm onto something. I'm just fucking around to make the point, but I do think everybody's better together than they are apart. I think the diversity in this country is one of the dopest things about this place. Did you see the story a couple years ago? This is real. A couple years ago, there was a competition of mathletes, international competition, and Team USA's mathletes actually defeated China's team of mathletes. And when they showed a picture of Team USA holding the American flag, sporting their gold medals around their necks, every single one of them was Chinese. Look it up, real story. How you gonna beat us when your biggest obstacle is in the mirror? Listen, this is all I'm saying. I don't give a shit what race you are. I'm gonna try to love you regardless. I do care how stupid you are. Now that is an issue that I don't know how else to address. That is a love that has limits. You ever met somebody so dumb, you're just like, yeah, I don't think we can help this one. Let's take them to the forest, man. Just let nature take its course. I saw a story earlier this year. Did y'all see this? There was a dude in Texas. Great start. There's a dude in Texas who tried to shoot a firework off the top of his head for the 4th of July. It exploded into his skull as it should have. I want to make that so clear where I stand on this issue. I'm on team, yeah, that's what happens next, you dumbass. Can I just throw this out there? I didn't know it was possible for somebody to be that dumb. Not that dumb, and I grew up in Florida. I want to make that very clear. The kinds of things I've seen. You want to hear a great Florida story? When I was a kid, I was 12. I go over to my best friend's house. We're playing in his front yard. Across the street, we're looking at his neighbor, grown man. I watched this dude pepper spray himself, trying to figure out if there was more in the can. Swear to God, a grown man I saw do that. I just want to make this very clear. That is a voter, and his vote counts the same as yours. I just want to make sure you know that. I watched him look that thing down the barrel, and he took a shot straight to the eye like an OnlyFans model. Bam! There was a subscribe button under him. I couldn't have hit it faster. More of this! I'm just saying I didn't know it was possible for people to be dumb like that, though. This dude lights a firework up top of his head. True story. It explodes into his skull. I read this article, and I know the point of the article is I'm supposed to feel bad for him. And all I'm saying is I'm struggling. It's just too hard. It's too dumb a way to get hurt. You know what I mean? Don't you just know deep down in your gut he went, America, right before he lit that motherfucker? Don't you just know he said that? You don't even gotta check. Don't you just know? As sure as I am that Nick Cannon doesn't wear condoms, I am sure that dude said that thing. Can I just throw this out there? I really do think I'm on to something here. The term America, let's talk about it. If you don't know, the term America is supposed to mean having pride in country. Is it just me, or is it any time I see somebody go, America, they then do something I'm not proud of as an American? You ever notice that? Every time, they're like trying to jet ski through a hurricane or some shit. Or they're like trying to jump over a campfire, but they trip into it. Every time somebody goes, America, you know what I think they mean to say? I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is Jackass. Every time. Every time somebody goes, America, I'm like, oh, he's about to get hit in the balls or some shit, man. I got a theory, and listen, I think this joke would work better if there were more black people in the room, but let's see what the fuck happens. I just want to be honest about that. I think the term America is to white people what the term world star is to black people. I think it means the exact same thing. I think if any of us hear somebody shout either of those words out, we all think the same thing. We just go, get your camera phone out. About to make a memory. I think it's so weird to shout America. And I'm not saying I have a lack of pride in this country. I love this country. But I do think that is an objectively stupid thing to do. To go, America, I just think it's dumb. Do you think anybody in any other country does that? I don't. I think it's just us. I think we're fucking idiots. I really do. Do you think anybody else shotguns a beer, does a backflip, lands? Rwanda, do you think? Because I don't think so, man. You think anybody else shakes out their mullet, throws some shades on, and takes a 2x4 to the dong? Oh, Cambodia. I don't think so, man. This is all I'm saying. I'm not even saying stop saying it. I'm not even saying stop saying it. I'm just saying, can you pick a better time? What a fair compromise. No, just say it when it makes us look good. Stop saying it when it makes us look like some dumbasses. That's all I'm asking for. Say it when we win a gold medal, not when you butt chug a White Claw. How am I supposed to find pride in that moment? Who heard butt chug and felt patriotic? That's all I'm saying. Just pick a better time. I think that's such a fair compromise. Look, I don't know your love lives. I don't want to know. But next time any one of y'all get to have sex with somebody who's from another country, the second you make them come, just go, America. Listen. I don't know one American who wouldn't be proud of you in that moment. Half of you would salute. Our country 'tis of thee. Sweet land that slings the deep. I'm messing with you. But... Can I say something weird? I really do think we should be doing that to foreigners. I know that sounds weird, but I really do think I'm on to something. I think anytime you make a foreigner come, you should let them know where they are. In fact, that is my foreign policy. Listen, I don't understand who's losing in it. Really think this through, all right? Like, okay, they get to come, you get national pride. Who's losing? I really think I'm onto something. It's just jarring to think about, but I'm onto something. Listen, if I went to another country for the first time, they made me come, then told me where I was, I'd be like, this place is all right with me. Where'd you say we are? Guantanamo. Yeah, I can get used to this. Not bad at all.
She broke up with me because, in her words, I was too emotional. That's ridiculous. It's a terrible excuse. Too emotional? Come on. I'm a Scorpio. I have master control over my emotions. You understand? No other person's gonna get those out of me. Sure, I was hurt. I had opened myself up to her. I did what people say they want you to do in a relationship. I was vulnerable. I said, there's me on the inside. That's my heart. Would you like to touch it? And she said, uh-huh. Took it. Ripped it out of my chest. I never saw it again. I don't know what she did with it. Probably used it around the house like a sponge, like a paperweight or a doorstop. Probably every time she met a guy she wanted to bang and he didn't have a condom, she was like, well, here, it's no big deal. She used Sean's heart as a condom. Unfortunate, it hurt, but hey, life happens, all right? But I was still broken. I was still a sad little boy. And I decided after a couple of weeks in the doldrums that the best way to get over her and move on with life was to see some titties. To go to a strip club for the first time. Now, There's no shortage of strip clubs here. Bourbon Street alone's got 2 or 3. It's got 8, I believe. I think it's actually like 13. And there used to be off-bourbon strip clubs. You remember those? Which were a lot like off-Broadway theaters, if you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you're gonna pay less to get in, but you're gonna be kind of confused by what you're watching on the stage. It's more experimental than you were hoping. And there'll be a fog machine unnecessarily at full blast. You can guarantee it. And, like, you know, the Quarter's got world-famous strip clubs, you know, like Rick's Cabaret, Stilettos, Barely Legal, Larry Flint's Barely Legal, Larry Flint's Hustler Club. They've got... I didn't go to the Quarter, though. I didn't go to any of these fancy strip clubs. I went 33 miles north of the city to a suburb known as Slidell, Louisiana, where there's a gem of a gentleman's club called Scuttlebutt. You know it. They should be paying me money for that response. I don't know that anyone's ever cheered for Scuttlebutt, but there you know. It's there. Now, I grew up near that place, and for my entire life, I thought it was just the dumbest named strip club ever. Such a scuttlebutt, like the owner was just some meathead who didn't understand English that well. It was like, look, I want him to scuttle in to see some butt. Bam, names itself. It's better than Scuttlegash. It's better than Scuttletwat. Scuttlebutt. Put it on a fucking sign, though. But later, I would learn that scuttlebutt is a real word with an actual definition, the definition of which is a rumor or gossip. So now that changes. Now I think the owner's just like a dude with a monocle and a top hat, twirling a cane. Pardon me, gentlemen and scholars alike. Behind these doors be scantily clad women of the night, willing to polish the knob on your front side for mere pennies on the dollar, or so that be the scuttlebutt. Now, at the time, I was only 20 years old. That is technically too young to get in anywhere else in the country. But I was also heartbroken, so I walked into that place with the confidence of a vet. You know what I mean? Like the bouncer didn't even look at me, but I swear I heard him say, "Thank you for your service." I went to the bar, ordered a PBR off the imported beer list. Imported from Milwaukee, bro. And I sat at the stage and just sort of flicked dollar bills at the strippers while listening to them strip, because I was still that heartbroken where I couldn't even look at another female form like, oh, she had a stomach too, man. No, I'm just not ready. And I was 20, so I was broke. So like every third flick, there was nothing there. I just did the motion. And I just listened to the cavalcade. All right, fellas, here she comes, Crystal. All right, club favorite, Cacophony. Sexiest woman in the Southeast 5 years running, it's Ebony. A white girl, by the way. Culturally appropriating before cultural appropriation was a buzzword. She was a real South African American, if you know what I'm saying. All right, fellas, here she is, the club favorite, Jubilee. All right, late night, here she comes, Nancy. That caught my attention, Nancy. That's not a stripper name, that's a normal name. A stripper's name might be Nancy, but then her stripper name would be like Charcuterie. She's a board full of meat, fellas. Right? Nancy, that caught my attention. And unlike every stripper before her who came out dancing to Ja Rule or Metallica or Pantera or DMX, Nancy came out dancing to the Goo Goo Dolls' Iris. We all know that song. And a lot of people tell themselves over and over again that they hate that song. And if you truly believe you hate that song, then I guess the world saw you and it didn't understand. And Nancy and I make eye contact right then and there, and it's obvious there's a bond. It's strong between us. I'm almost worried other people could see it, right? I mean, look, she was looking right through me. She could see right through me. I was a broken little boy. That's why I was in the strip club. But I could see right through her as well. She was also broken. That's why she was stripping. I know. I feel it from some of you, like, well, Sean, what are you saying? Are you implying that all strippers are broken people? Yes, I absolutely fucking am, and you need to respect that. Because I don't give a shit. If you're not broken, go out there and live your life. Get broken, then we can hang out. Broken people are real, you understand? Like human beings, we're like glow sticks. We can't truly shine till someone cracks us. Shakes us up. Because she was broken, Nancy was more human than human. Which is a White Zombie song that Crystal had danced to earlier. And she's dancing around now, and she's topless. And there they are, those titties I came to see. But now they were more than just titties. They were breasts. Those which nourish us as children and please us as adults. This was somewhere in between, right? And we make eye contact again, and it's a bridge of light. It's like I'm staring into the eyes of someone I had known for centuries. And our last words to one another were, "Find me in the next life." And here we were, finding each other in the next life in a strip club in Slidell, Louisiana. Who'd have thunk it? And she kept dancing around. She had other people there, but every second she'd look back at me and we make eye contact over and over again. Our bond was so strong. We're here, Nancy. We'd found each other. How many lifetimes had we spent searching? Our journey could finally continue. We could be together again and travel the world and show the human race the possibilities of love and how it's the only thing that will save us from doom. Nancy and I would be together, and then I'm in a headlock. I'm in a headlock, right? Out of nowhere, and I look up, and it's the bouncer. He's got me in a headlock, and he's walking me out because he saw the connection. He knew the prophecy was true. He knew why I was there, to free Nancy, so she could free others like her. My heart was pounding at 5 times the rate it ever had, pumping blood into this body that was stronger than it has ever been. I was more than a man because of her. I almost felt sorry for this fucking fool. He had no clue who he had just put his hands on. And we get out to the parking lot, and he makes the mistake of releasing me, a gladiator and warrior in one, ready to destroy anyone that stood between Nancy and I, starting with that fucking mortal. And he very calmly goes, hey man, hey, I can't have you in there crying, dude. Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Maybe I am too emotional.